Can you hear me?
I can hear you, sir.
Okay. Were you able to attempt any of the?
Yeah, I tried attending to them, but I don't know what I was doing.
Okay. Okay. So, what was your thought process? Let me have it. Let's start from here. Okay. Today we'll talk about a function. I think we'll just jump into iOS development. So I'll be sharing my screen throughout today since I mentioned the other time that iOS development can only be if you need Xcode, right? And I think Xcode only works on a Mac computer, right? So I think Mac or a MacBook, so any of it. So because of that, I'll be sharing my screen. So we just drop. We should have a project today. That's just the main focus of today, right? So we'll talk briefly about the assignment function, then we'll jump into development. So what was your thought process? Why you want this? You have an array, right? Then given an array of numbers, just unmute yourself so that we can make this interactive, right?
Okay.
Okay, what was the thought process? You have an array and you want to print the greatest and the lowest. So how do you go about that?
Like I looked into the length of the array to get the highest number. Then
Length of the array.
mhm, got the highest number. Array dot length.
So how will the length of the array give us the highest number?
That is um. I'm coming. Let me open my listener.
Okay.
I did this array dot count.
Okay.
Like I open I open a new variable, empty variable.
Okay.
Then I did array dot count.
Okay.
The array that was
Sorry,
given.
can I take that down?
Okay.
Let me just take that down so that let me see your thought process. Let me clear this one down, the take home. Okay, let's have a new solution. So I'll go to the console anyway. So what was your thought process? I think this is the array bar. So okay.
Yes.
You said the count bar. Let me say array, right? Or let's
Yes.
just make it the array. So the array dot count. What will this one give us?
So they give us the number of arrays inside the number of items the item inside the array.
Okay, and for this case is 7 or is it 8?
0, 1, 2, 3,
3,
4, 5, 6,
3,
7.
7. Okay, I think it's 8.
It's 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's 8.
Okay. Okay. So after that,
After that, I create a new variable, empty array.
okay, like a new array.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Then I did a for loop for it.
Okay, you did a for loop for this guy.
Yes.
Okay. So what were you
Like for
checking? What were you checking inside the for loop?
I was checking how to get the highest number, like the highest number here.
Okay, okay, sorry.
That's
Is the
why
solution
I
working?
was it's not working. I was confused somehow, so I just like abandoned it that time.
Okay, can you paste your solution to this the code that you have? Are you working on that rep light repo?
That is why I'm trying to open and copy code to.
Okay, you can just copy it on this code on this message here. So the issue to solving problem is the thought process, right? So you have to check like how when you have a better thought process, then you drive at it, then you start implementing. You start implementing. So once your thought process is fine, is working, then I think you will not have any issue writing that, right? So should I just jump into a solution, right?
Yes, yes, just please.
Okay. So for me, if okay, I'll be talking from this angle. If I'm given an array, right? Let me go to my repo so that you can see this. You can see this my repo right now.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So if I have an array, let's call this. Let me go down. Let me say var new array equal to this guy, which is in our case study, right? So if the question says I should add the biggest and the smallest, right? So there are many ways. So in an array, I can just say, how do I get the minimum number in an array? That's the first one. That's the thought process. How do I get a minimum number? Like, can I do that? Is there a way to check for to get a minimum number? So actually, that your for loop, everything works per for loop, right? Even if the method you've been using dot this one dot count, their method they have the basic simple language inside like for loop also. So but there are some method that are working already, right? There are some method that are working that you can just implement. So easily checking how to get the smallest number in an array. So we solve that one for me. How to get the smallest number in an array. So there's this method called dot mean. So if you just so if I have this new array, right? This new array, and I say dot mean, like minimum is a function, you put that closing parenthesis here, dot minimum number, right? So
Okay.
this is meant to fetch you the smallest number there, right? So but this method used to fail sometime. It used to fail, right? So in the case that there is no a minimum number, right? So what do you want me to do? That's why this method doesn't that's why it fails sometimes. What if the array is a string and there is no minimum there? You understand? Or what if the
Yes.
array is array of anything that we cannot find minimum? So it used to fail sometime. So when it fail, Swift allow us to provide a default value that what if you cannot find the minimum value, right? What if you cannot find the this? So it allows us to provide a default value. So the default value comes with you put question mark two, one, two, then you put the value, right?
Okay.
So if I say array dot mean, if it fails, that's question mark, double question mark, return zero. So if you cannot find a minimum value, just return print zero. So that's the meaning of that double question. Like if this first one fail, question mark, return zero. So that's why everything will just go fine. So you can see my console now, it print one.
Okay.
Exactly. So as simple as that. So the same thing for maximum number. So dot max does the logic too. Dot max. So this one too fails. It used to fail because there are some time why it might not have maximum number, right? So if you run it now, you see it will bring It's not that it fail. You bring optional. So you can see down here, it's optional 22. So you can see here, express, you see it will print out the error for you, avoid warning. So there are some time that it will fail. So that's the error it's trying to say. So the same thing we just apply to that place, that if you fail, give us something. So let's just say 1, so that we know the difference. So since we know that this of any of this our case, none is going to fail there, so we can just leave it. So anytime it fail, it returns 0 for minimum and return 1 for maximum. You get it?
Yes.
So I can just come back here. I'll just say minimum array minimum array equal to this guy, and let maximum array, so I'm just declaring it as variable now, equal to this guy, right? So I can just print. So since we are adding, right, you know the addition sign now, so you just print min array plus max array. So that's all. So and it works for all array. You can see 93 for here. So it works for all array. So if you have another array, let's say this one, this is another case. It's another case of an array. So you can just copy, this min and max. We just change the name of the array. So let's sorry. So we copy this. So let min array 2, let max array 2 equal to test array. So say test array, this one text array max, and this one min 2. I'm just changing the variable name so that I don't say, so I don't shout about the name. So you can see the first one is 93, which is actually the smallest number here is 1 and the largest is 92. So it prints 92 plus 1. So here, this case too, the smallest number is 5 and the largest is 15. So 15 plus 5, that's 20. Are you fine with that?
Yes, sir.
Any question?
I think I understand it better now.
So that's just a simple logic. That's just like a first reason that how do I do this? How do I do this? So it's just like, okay, is there a way I can return the maximum number? That's it. Is there a way I can return the minimum number? That's it. So that's the logic there. So I think using this, I think it can easily, this question now can easily lead us to function, because that's our that's our first that's our first take today. So we should be doing function, right? So iOS function. So we should be doing function. So I'll paste the solution here. So that we'll have it. So it will be solution take home 2, right? So I'll paste the solution, but this time it will be in a function, method. So function in iOS, right, is just a reusable piece of code. That's just the meaning of function. So when we say function, so function is just a reusable piece of code. That's just it. Reusable piece of code, right? So that's just a function. So you'll be able to reuse it every time. So that's just the function, right? So imagine you, hope you can hear me, right?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Imagine you want to check your account balance, right? And every time, maybe millions of users want to check their account balance, and each of the user, we try, there's this maybe there's 10 lines of code that shows you your account balance, maybe on your phone, and each of the 10 lines are, you can check your account balance using code, you can check it to your app. So each of the account balance, you are using the same code, you are writing it like we just did here. Let me share this screen now. Like we just did here. We've been sharing this. I wanted to check for another array. I had to copy and paste that code again, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what functions help us to do. So instead of copying, if I want to do another array now, if I want to test for another array, I have to copy this one and paste again. So function allow us to use code in another places. Instead of writing, copy and pasting, we have a single method. We used to call it method anyways. We have a single function that takes it, and each time you want to use it, it works, right? So for here, so in Swift, so this is how our function was. You declare it with func. So that's the func. That's the function name. So you put the name. So you put the name of the function. This let's try with this one now. Add min and you can name it anyway and max. So like we want to do for this case. To put a curly braces around it. So this is how to declare a function. You can see it. You put fork. That's for function. Then you put the function name. Then open this curly brace. This opening and close is what starts on the function. Then you open this curly braces, like you put your code inside what you want that function to do, right? So for instance now, if I just say print hello, so inside this function, anytime I just come here to call this function, I don't need to put print inside again. If I just say add min and max, so it go inside this function and it go inside it and do anything that is inside. You can see now, you can see that hello got printed,
Yeah.
right? Exactly. So anytime we just call this guy, if I call it again, if I want to print hello 75 times now, I'll just be repeating that function. So you can see we have two hellos now. So that's just what function does. It gives you, so and if the code is more than that, that's how it encapsulates all the logic. If it's more than this hello word now, that's how we just have everything inside. And once we call this one line, it does everything, right? So for this case now, so let me just copy this. I'll put it in that note too, so that once you are reading, because you still have the link to that slide, right?
No, no, no. I don't know. I don't have it again. I looked for it that time. I don't know.
Okay, I'll send it to you. So, so that's just it, right? So there is this thing called argument inside function. Argument allows you to pass parameter. It allows you to pass something inside the function, right? So for example now, if I want to this array, if I want you to take something so that we can use it inside here. So let's say we have another array now. Let's say we have another function. So let's say hello. Let's call this function say hello, right? So and we say it want to take a name, and we say the name is a string. So you declare it like this, like take a variable called name and the type should be string, right? So if we are, we did interpolation, right? Have we done interpolation?
Interpolation. No.
When I say you can use a variable inside and a string like this.
Okay.
Okay, let me just use this one that is easy for you. So I can say plus, this is a string, and you can just say plus name. So hello name, I'll put a space here so that you will have a space before the name. Hello space then name. So anytime you want to call this function, say hello, right? Say hello, it will take that name. Say hello to who? Then I can just say hello to Amos, right? So it takes a name. It takes a name, since and the name must be a string. So if I just pass it like this, so anytime I run this code, the function takes this name and it just print it. Hello Amos. You can see here. Can you see it?
Yes, I can see it.
Exactly. So you just say hello Amos. So this is a function that takes parameter, right? Because there can be function that, like the first one we had, it doesn't take anything. So when we want to call it, we just call it without anything inside. But anyone that has this parameter inside, when you are calling, you call it together with the parameter that it has. That's fine, right?
Yes, sir.
Exactly. So for this case now, for our assignment case, what do we pass in if you want to make it a function type? What do you think we'll be passing?
As in, we'll pass inside the first
The
as the
function.
argument, bro.
Yes.
We'll pass the min and the mass
No.
number.
Since we are taking an array, so what we need to pass is just the array. it's just the array that is different. See, this case now is a
Okay,
different
okay,
array.
okay.
This one is
Yes,
a different array. All
yes,
other
yes,
thing is us that is
yes.
manipulating it inside,
Yes.
right?
It's the array
So
that
we
will
just
pass. Yeah.
exactly. So we just say function add min and max. We just say take an array, and this is how you declare an array. You put the type inside. This array and it's int that's inside, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. So array and int. If it's just a single number, you just put int. Like if you are taking a single number, you just put int. No need to put this array. But since it's an array of number, you just put this thing in bracket, right? So all this our logic now can come inside. All this our logic can come inside and just say, so this time to just be let min equal, so we'll be using array here. So let min array equal to max array equal to, and we'll just say print max array. So and this code can be reused any place. So anytime we want to add max and min now, we just need to call this guy and put the array inside. Array, this time we are treating this one, right?
Yeah.
And this time we are treating another array. So we can test for multiple array with this. We just need to call it once. So right now I can delete all of this guy with just a single function, right? So anytime I want to call it, you just say add max and min and put the array. So this piece of code can be reused. That's what the function is all about. So we can reuse it every time. So if you print now, you see that we still have our same result because, okay, I think the net is still running. So let me comment these guys out. Okay, I will refresh that page. I think it's handy. Okay, so mm, okay, I think I'll just delete this guy. So we just have the function add mix and man, and we have this. So I'll comment this guy out too. So when we run it, you can see we still have the same result, 93 and 20.
Yep.
So we just that same. So we can reuse that line. So it's just to call that function add min and max, put the array inside. Add min and max. So we can test for multiple array with it. That's just the meaning of function. It allows to sort of writing it and write. So it allows to reuse code. So it's just like when you write the code, you just carry everything and put inside a function. That's all. So any parameter that anything that you think you need to pass, in this case, we need to pass an array. So you pass it. So you'll be able to manipulate it and print it. Do you get this too?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Kenny, welcome. Good afternoon.
Well, good afternoon.
Okay, you're just joining us, right?
Yes, just join. I've been having challenges for some time. I've just tried.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
Is this the first
thank you.
class?
Yes, this is my first. In short, this is not even supposed to be my class, but I just wish to join and see what you guys are doing. You're
Oh,
doing a great job. I must
okay,
commend
that's
that.
right. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for joining.
It's a pleasure.
So that's just about function, right? That's that's just function for us. It is a piece of code that are reusable piece of code. That's just the meaning of function. We can have everything inside and print it, right? Amos, are you on your desktop? Are you using your laptop?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can you share your screen? Are you on this site now? This repo light? Can you access it?
Yes.
Okay, let me just stop sharing for some time so that you share your screen. I'll share back. So we'll jump into development and I'll show you one or two. You can share your screen. Hope you can find a button to share the screen.
Yes.
Okay.
Can you see the screen?
All right, great. Yes, I
Can you
can
see the
see the
screen?
screen. We can go to the tab now. Yes, I can.
Are you seeing the tab?
Exactly. So, oh, you change your mode, right? I love this. That's great. That's great. That's great. Right.
Why is it giving me this
Okay.
error? Can't find this integer.
Integer. It must be a capital letter now. That I.
Okay, okay,
Exactly. So it's I, capital letter
okay.
I. Right. Okay. Which other error do you have? Which other error do you have? Okay. Array. Let me check how you declare that your array. Okay, function add min and max, open bracket, int, right? Oh, okay, okay, okay. And comment the two guys up so that we know we are treating the function. Comment those 32 line up. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I've seen the error.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, yes.
I think my network is lagging. I'll just change network very sharp. Is it from my hello?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I think my network went off for some time. Okay, so do you still have the error? Run it again. Let's have it.
Yeah, the error I'm having now is this in this declaration. When I say let mass array equals to array dot mass, you're showing me something on that mass area.
Run it again. Run it again. Let's see. So I don't think it's coming from that function. It's coming from these two guys up. Okay. Oh, okay. You said you are not using it. Can you see? You didn't print. You didn't. You are not using the array now. So
Okay.
it's just like
I did not. Yes, yes,
it's
yes.
not an error. It's just a warning that since you are not using this guy, if you are not using any variable in Swift, you can use underscore to represent them. That's what he's saying. So since you are not using it, just use underscore to represent them. So, but since you want to use it, just print them out.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, that's it. So I think uncomment the other ones too. Let's see. Maybe let's see the error that you have there.
This one worked.
Okay, this one was working back.
Yes.
Oh, okay, that's fine. So that's just the function. So we have everything inside function now. So we don't need to. So every time we want to use it, we just record that function and call. And so let's have another function. Come down. So create another function so that we'll check the last.
What should we call it?
Okay. Let me check. The second one said, given a string, print each word in the string with last. Just name it last character capitalized.
Last
Or
character.
let's just name it last character, right? Last character. Okay. Just have it with empty parameter for now. Okay. Open the curly braces. Okay. So let me like your Google Meet tab. Check it and check the message part. Okay. Okay. So all right. So given a string, right? Print each word in the last character capitalized format. In a last character capitalized format. So for example, we have Swift is used to develop iOS. So we want you to print Swift with capital letter T. Like check each of the character, right?
Mm.
And do you attempt this?
No, 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 no.
Okay. So how do you think let's have thought process. How do you think we'll go about it if we are you can copy that statement and just bring it. Like EG, just copy everything. No, the full line after the full line, join the yeah. Okay. Let's go inside the console now. You can just put it in the comments there. Have it in comments exactly. So how do we do this? You can reduce the width of this your console. Like drag it to the right. Like this console where the print comes out. No, okay, exactly. So how do we come about this? If we have a string like this and want it to print something like this. So let's have our thought process. How do you think we should go about it?
Hmm. I think first of all, is an array bar in a
No,
string.
it's a string. Yeah.
Is a string rather
Yes.
in an array.
No, it's not in an array. It's just a string.
Just a string. I mean, okay.
Yes.
First of all, we split it into array.
Okay.
Each of the
Okay.
words.
Like the last solution we have, we know how to split now, but
Yes.
exactly. Okay.
So after splitting it,
Okay.
then we loop into each of the word.
Okay.
Then before then we check the array length dot, like the last array, the
Okay.
last word of each of the array.
Okay.
Then give it a method of capitalize.
Hmm. So that capitalized method, it works for the first word though. Like used now, to capitalize you, not the.
What if we do the to capitalize it? Like okay.
You get
Mm,
exactly. So I think capitalize. So let's come enter. Don't let us have it inside function for now. Let's just have it outside the function. Let's go to line 44. Okay, let's go with your thought process. Okay, let's declare it via string or via anything via the string equal to. mm, okay, copy that string and let's have it there. Okay, right. So you know the split now. Let's have another function,
mm.
another variable. Let's say var splitted or split string equals, then use that split function. Okay. 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 So print out the splitted string. Let's see what we have first, so that we'll go line by line. Okay, so we have an array right now of string.
Yeah.
Exactly. So what since we have this data type now, so what next? You said we will loop through it, right?
Yes.
Okay, we'll loop through it, and if you start looping through it, so what will be our what should we do after we loop through them?
I think we'll create an empty string, empty variable where we loop it into, like what we do on
Yeah, empty
what we do
empty
with all
variable.
these counter and all that. After
Yeah,
looping
why
through,
do okay, why looping through?
so while looping through, you check each of the word. You take their index, the last index of each of the word.
Hmm.
Then you
Okay.
capitalize the last index of each of the word.
Hmm. Okay, the last index of have you done index? You've read about string index, but
Yes, I read it a little bit.
okay, okay. So I think it's making sense if you have read about indexing. So because if you take the last index You might as well work out. You take the last index. Okay. So write a for loop. Let's see. Let's see.
What's the next thing?
Okay. So, no, he said what? I have a solution, right? But I just want so that you have your thought process in action. So you said okay for array in. I don't like this array. Let's use for strings since we are using strings so that you name variable with what we are doing so that we know what we are doing. Because they are actually string. When we start looping through, it will be a string. Like we'll take this Swift, right? So the first time it goes, it's check on Swift, right?
Okay.
Okay. So for example, now let's have Swift. Let's use Swift as the case study. So how do we tend to remove T from Swift and capitalize it?
I
Mm,
will do for string as in for string index minus something
sorry, I
like
didn't get that.
like like let me check some let me see something now.
Okay, I'm fine with that.
Length in Swift.
Sorry, I didn't get you.
I say it dot length in Swift.
Dot count.
As in there's nothing like dot length.
No, no, it's count. It's count. Dot count. Can you hear me? Hello.
We can hear you.
Uh,
Okay.
I say to check the length of a string is dot count bar.
Yes, dot count. Amara, welcome. Good afternoon. I think we just have her here. Amara, can you hear me?
I'm hearing you.
Okay, good afternoon. We're happy to have you.
Good afternoon.
Okay, I think we just have some so that I'll jump into development so that I'll go with something today.
Yeah, let's just let's see your own solution.
No, I love if I see a new thought process, right? I because when you have a solution, that doesn't mean that's the only solution that exists. So when I see thought process,
Maybe
I
this particular one I will research on it more
exactly. So
later.
I think the what I can chip in, right? What I can chip in. So if you do, okay, go up like let's have a new function. Sorry, go to line 44 and enter. Like clear line 44. Just drop all you've written down. Drop it
I
down.
should I should
Like
clean it.
no, put enter. Let it go now. I just want to create space between 45 exactly. So let's just have a new variable called let example equal to Swift. Let example equal to Swift. So I see a possibility of a solution to your thought process. That so equal to just say Swift, right? No, it has to be a double quote. It has to be a double quote. Nice. So if you say example dot, just let's print it. Print example dot last. Okay, let's run it. So you can see now. So you can see it brought the error that we have in the initial, that when we are solving for min dot last, right?
Mm.
So it's the same here. So some string, this last, it's meant to bring out the last character in a string, but sometimes it fails, right? So when it fails, what do you want? So we know how to handle that, right? So just we used to call it optional, right?
Yeah.
Statement there. So when this last fail, right? No, it should be inside that curly braces. It should be after that last, then space. Okay. Okay. So what do we print? Just put space, then an empty string. So it has to be the data type. The other time we return 0 and 1 for marks, because marks
Yes.
are bring. So this one is to bring integer. So if you don't find this guy, give us empty string. So once we run it now, you see we will be able to get F. Okay. So you can see. Do we have it printed?
Nope.
Will you will you will you
Unexpected.
comment your guy out? Will you comment those line down so that we'll have this guy? Okay. I think there is something inside. Okay, there's something inside your if statement. You've not treated that. That's the error that is. Okay, let's print it. So you can see
Yeah.
now we have T. So with just dot last, you can actually get the last variable, last character in a string, right? So if you think you can do something very nicely inside that your for loop, I actually don't know what you want to do inside the for loop yet, right? But if you can do something inside that is interesting, I think that will help. That will help, right? Right. So I think they are simple method that you can check them on, right? So it's just as simple as that. So I'll rush into so I think that your for loop is just the logic that needs to be treated. So once you treat that, you'll be able to do that, right?
Yes.
Okay. So let me just add this so that maybe it can help you alongside while you are thinking. Sorry, 1 minute. Mm, 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 okay, okay, okay. So if I think you'll be able to be able to get be able to get it done. Be able to get it if you do the if you do the if you do your default loop very well. I think it's something interesting, right? So okay, capitalize. Let me see this. Okay, all right. Okay. So let me just add this so that you can stop sharing your screen and I continue. Packaged. Okay. So there's this other method, right? If you check, go to your other line, go to your other line,
Which of them?
like the same line that we are. If you check your, if you check the, okay. So there's this method dot uppercase. So you can actually use to convert any character into a uppercase, right? So you can use it to convert any character into uppercase. But I think it has to be a string. So let's put have everything inside brackets, like example, the everything, just join the string.
Like
No, inside the print statement, have everything inside the print statement in another.
in a
Okay.
bracket.
Yes. Okay. Come in outside the bracket, you just put dot. I think it's uppercase, right? So let's have dot uppercase. Dot uppercase with capital letter with D, capital uppercase, like with D. Exactly. So we try that. Let's see. Okay. So you're
Cannot
saying it
convert
is
value.
okay. So dot last is actually not a string. So dot last
Character.
is a character, right? So you can actually convert it to a string. Go to the first statement inside the print statement. So just add string there. So we can convert this. Yes. So we can convert that guy to string, capital letter S, right?
Like that.
String, no, full spelling of string. Okay, so go inside this your string statement and let it be actually let have a string there. Oh, put empty space instead of that. Just yes, let's have space. Exactly. So let's run it. So that one will make the s like the other exactly. So can you see now? So we can
Yeah.
actually have with that just one line, we can actually have. So I think this one can help you inside the for loop. I will paste the solution to that link so you can check the solution. So stop sharing your screen. Let me quickly jump into the last development. Thank you very much.
Thank you
So
so
I'll
much.
be pasting the solution to that. I think I'll share my entire screen this time. I'll share my entire screen. Share my entire screen. So I think I'll be pasting the solution to the two. I think we solved the first one. I'll paste the two here. So we treated function already. I think you know about function now. There are some functions that are just empty arguments, empty parameter like this, and it works. And there are some that take parameter that you pass in while calling it. So now we are in iOS development, right? So iOS development, this kit, we need this app, Xcode, right? Xcode. So that's what we need. So and I have it here. So this is Xcode for us. Xcode, right? Right. So it's an app. Let me show my. So it's an app. If you can see my screen,
Yeah,
this top last icon, top left,
I can
sorry,
see it.
okay, bottom left, Xcode. So that's it. So that's the app that we use for iOS development, right? That's the app we use for iOS development. And once and we the second of it we use framework. So there are two frameworks. So basically we just be using UI kit for now. That's what it's more popular in the market. So now the what we've tackled so far is Swift language. At least we know some basic Swift. So I think we should be able to do something with that inside the language, inside the project, right? So we have Swift language and emulator, right? Emulator is just like when you want to build for phone, for mobile, you have to get a phone to test with. Maybe you are building for Android or iOS. While building your code, right? You have to test that is it working. So Apple has created an emulator inside their app. So you can see this is an iPhone 13 on my laptop, right?
Yeah,
It's an iPhone 13. So it is actually a emulator, right? It's like the name implies, emulator. It emulates a real device. So if you actually don't have an iPhone, right, you can build to this guy and test how it works, right? You can test how everything works in an iPhone, right? So you can test you can test how it works. So that's it. So everything in an iPhone, it's inside this emulator because you'll be running to this phone to build. If you have an iPhone, fine. So you just need to connect it to your Mac or your MacBook, respectively. So, and I think I've taken our laptop spec. I don't think, or I think I don't know for Kenny or Amara. Is any of you using a MacBook or a Mac desktop?
No, no, no.
Kenny, Amara,
I am not.
can you
I'm
hear
not.
me?
Yes, I can hear you. I'm not using a MacBook.
Sorry, I didn't hear you.
I'm not using a MacBook. I'm not using a MacBook.
I think you are breaking. Amara, can you hear us?
No, I'm not.
Okay. So I think so we'll be needing that two guys, right? We'll be needing either Mac or MacBook. So since we don't have it, I think our next class we just switch to Kotlin because I think with normal MacBook, right? Sorry, with normal conventional system like HP, Dell, so be able to treat mobile development for Android, right? We'll be able to treat mobile development for Android. Be able to treat mobile. So I think we'll just have this class for so Xcode, right? I have my Mac, so I have a MacBook 2020 here. So I have a MacBook Pro here. So this is and I have an Xcode. It's just as simple as that. So I just go to my Xcode, right? And I'll go to file. So I'll go to file and I'll go to new. So it's a project. You can see I have it inside this bulletin. Xcode new project. So you go to file, you go to new, and you have new project, right? So I'll click on that project. So it display this guy for. So inside Xcode we have new, and we go to new project, right? So that's it, right? So we have, if you can see the platform here, we have multi-platform. We have iOS, we have Mac OS, we have Watch OS, we have tvOS. So in short, if you have Xcode, you can actually develop for any of the Apple devices, either Watch OS, either tvOS, either Mac OS, either iOS. But for this case, we are developing for iPhone, so we choose iOS here, and we're developing an app. So that's why we click app, right? So now we put next. So we put the product name, like what you want to use the name. So just the name of the app, right? So let's call it app. Let's call it app one. So I think since so and this name will be the name that will come up on App Store respectively. So if you want to name your name GT Bank, so this is where you put it. If you want to name your app calendar, you want to name your app anything like Google Maps. So this is where you have to put it. So this app one will be the name that will show up, and you cannot change.
Hello? Is anybody hearing me?
I'm hearing you.
Like network is bad on his side though.
Yeah, he's off.
Yeah, we'll join back later. So have you been following the class since Amara?
No, I just joined.
Today? Today is your first class?
Yeah,
Wow.
I just joined.
We've not done any.
Sorry, I think I lost my network.
Okay, welcome back.
Welcome back.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I think my network just went off. So sorry, which point did you guys?
App, naming your app.
Okay, fine. So hope you can see my screen now. I'm sharing my screen now.
Yes.
Okay, this is the name that comes up as on the App Store, especially as I said. So you can see the team. So there's different team here. So I just put it on here because I'm not targeting any team. So if you are working in different team, maybe you have a team like 5 team you are working with, you have different team created for you. So this organization identifier, it gets created by Apple themselves. So this storyboard as the interface is the UI kit I was referring to here, right? So it's just the framework, right? So instead of UI kit, it's named storyboard there. So it's just this framework. So we're using storyboard. That's the UI kit, right? So storyboard is just, it makes the work easier. It's more of drag and drop, right? It's more of that drag and drop than like full code, right? So this data core, these are data storage. You'll not be using any of this now. So and we are using Swift. You know, when I mentioned that iOS is actually Objective C, right? Objective C and Swift. That's the main. So when we started with iOS here, so the language are Objective C and Swift, right? So this where okay, so we'll be using Swift, right? We'll be using Swift for it. So next, so that's just it. I name it app one, right? So I'll go to my desktop. So I think I have a folder in my desktop. I think I created the folder source in. So we'll create it inside there. So I will not use Git for it for now. So we'll be going to Git sometimes. So I'll just create. So once I create, it opens a new project. So it takes time because it's built the necessary framework. It brings UI kit into it. So that this is what we have. This is what we have. So this is what we have. So this is the project. And you can see from the menu, hope you can hear me, right?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. So if you can see the menu here, you can see a run button here. This is where we used to build the app. So you can see the name of the app one. So you can see here, this is the target, right? Now I'll click iPhone 13. So this if you have a phone, if you plug a phone, you see your phone here, right? You see your phone here. So since you don't have a phone, you can use those emulators. So I have iPhone 13 on. So I'll just click it. So this is iPhone 13 for us. So I'll be clicking that, right? So I'll just run now. I'll run because we have empty project. So let's see what we have inside. So that's all for development. We need a MacBook, right? We need a MacBook. We need Xcode. So You need a MacBook that because it powers Xcode. So the framework we'll be using is UI kit, that's storyboard. When you are creating the project and you click Swift language, that's what we are using. So emulator is just the it just acts in it emulates a real device. If you don't have an iPhone, that shouldn't stop you from building for iOS. That's just their aim. So you can see now we have empty view, right? We have empty view. We have empty view. So this we have something we call controller in mobile application, both Android and iOS controller. So controller is where you control, like the name implies, what you want to come to this screen, right? That's where you make it happen, right? So that's where you make it happen. So now inside this framework, that UI kit, that storyboard, there's something we call view, right? It's inside this framework. So learning this framework is another class. We're just doing Swift, right? So but inside this framework, we have something we call view, and it has a background color, and we can just make it red. So inside this UI kit, it offers a view, which is this view that we are seeing. In short, any of your screen, both Android and iOS, they have view. So those view are what we see. So if I run this guy now, I change the color with dot background color, like what we just used for our assignment. You can do dot capitalize, dot max, dot min. So those type, this view to has a method dot background color, as simple as that. So once you change it, you have background color change here. So we can see that my color now is red, right? So I'll just have to change. Let's use gray so that we can see. So I'll run it again, gray. So right, so you can see now we have a gray color here. I think there is this color that is looking nice, chalk, right? Okay, I think there is a color that is looking nice so that we can use that. Cyan, I think cyan is fine. Okay, let's go with cyan. Like it's just a blue that, yeah. So let's go with this. So we can just change our color. We can change our color. We can change our color. So what this UI kit offers, right? What it offers is that it allows you to make it more visual, right? The other framework is Swift UI. So this one is just you have to know most of Swift language before you can use that one. Like, so you must have tackled all the Swift language: string, array, object, enum, classes, structure. So all those basic language, you must have gone through that before you can use Swift language. But with UI kit, so you can actually start. So with this little, at least for the main time, at least we've covered some with our example. We covered a lot using string, right? Covered a lot. So and we covered number too. I think we can. So UI kit will help us with that, right? UI kit will help us with that. So with UI kit, it has this environment. We call it board, right? Storyboard, where you can actually drag items into it. So this is what we are showing there. So, but when you Swift UI, you will not have access to this guy, right? So this environment is storyboard, and if you can see my almost top right corner, I have this plus sign, which is like a library. So this library, you can drag anything. You can drag as many things as possible. So there's some pre-built view that you can use, right? There's some view that we can use. There's some view that we can use. So here, let's use this button. So there's this button. So this is a button, right? So this is a button. This is a button. So we can. So after you click an item from here, it shows you this panel, this left panel. When you click the button, so you can give it color, you can change the text, right? So it's actually button now. I'll just change it to change background, like just the text, so change background. So I'll make the text there. You can see there are many settings here that you can do. I'll make is a plain text. So You can see the configuration. You have image, you have background, right? You have foreground color, right? So I can come here and make the view. I can change the background. I can make it something brown, so you can see. So when you open this, you'll be able to you have access to changing all this. So I think we have text color too, right? We have text color. Okay, you have the font here. So we have, I think we can increase this font here. Okay, regular custom. So I just use 32, so that's exactly, so that we have it bigger. So like that, we can actually have our button down. So, and there's this thing we call constraint, like where you need to place it. That's just the simple language for it. Like, where do you want to place this inside your view? So if you check my bottom bar, you see this constraint, right? This button here. You can see this button here. So I can just decide to pin it to, you can see horizontal and vertical. Horizontal and vertical means put it to the center of the screen, right? So put it to the center of the screen. You put the center Y, center X, right? So I can have it there. So I think indicator, color, background. Okay, we'll just come back to changes as we go. Come back. I think let's have it. No, we can't see that color. I think red is fine. Okay, change background color. So this is a button. So if you run this now, we'll be able to access the change to click that button. Be able to click those button on. You can see. So anything we need here now, we can actually make it work. So we can change this. You can see, you can, if you look very well, you see the change effect, right? That's a little change effect on. So with this click, we can actually make, so we can make the background change with clicking this. We can make it work. So I will come back to this page. So this is where we write the code, right? This is where we write the code. That one is just like the storyboard, right? If we use UI, Swift UI, so it give us access to drag and drop. We can actually do everything from here. That's what Swift UI, and that's what most companies use. We can do everything from, instead of going to this place, there's a code that can write this guy out, this change background with that background color, right? It brings everything out. So without going to that storyboard, we can actually have it done. So now there's something we call outlet, right? Outlet. So I'll make this guy option. So once you have this button here, you need to have, sorry, I think a plane just passed. So you need to connect it to this file, because this is the file. This is the paint. Like, I'll just call it paint, right? The storyboard. So you need to connect it to this guy so that we can actually use it here. So I do that by holding control, then you drag it here, right? So I can just name it any name. I can just say change button. So I've connected it now. I've connected it. So with this change button now, I can give it anything. I think I can put it layer.corner radius equals to 5, right? So I can have I can put, so I can control, sorry, I can have control on the button now, because I have the outlet, like from that screen to this, because code is just about the Swift, the file. All those ones are just UI. So you need to connect each view. So that button is a view. I connected it now. So Xcode generate this code for you. IB outlet weak, right? You can actually write it yourself, but it's easy like that since you are using Storyboard. So it connects it, right? So if you want to make it work, right? So if I want to make any action work on it, there's this method dot add target, right? add target dot touch up inside. So there's this method dot add target. So this add target listen to the touch button. So like you can see I have touch up inside. So it's listening to the action on that button. So if you can see currently nothing happens, right? Nothing happens here. Nothing happens. So but this method dot add target, it allows action. So it listens to it. It listens to it. So and you know you can either write iOS in Swift or Objective C. So if you are writing Objective C for code, you start with Objective C so that your compiler will know that you are writing Objective C. And this Objective C is used, you can see now, this method takes at Objective C method. So if you just write ordinary function, it will not work. So you have to put Objective C because it only takes Objective C function. So I'll just name this one change background, like the method name. Thank God we treated function already. So it's just a function, which is an Objective C function, right? I just name it Objective C. So change background. So I'll just put the name here, right? Change background. So it takes a method, a Objective C method called change background, and this is the method there, change background. So this action is just safe, like the main button. We can actually do without it. We can leave it out and we'll still be fine, right? Right? Well, is since the button we are talking about, like where do you want the action to be? Let it self. We use self in Swift a lot, which refers to the object you are currently working on. This time it will be that change button. So I can actually change the background of the button here to background color equal to white. I can change the background of that button here too. I gave it corner radius here, like a little curve, right? So once I click this button, what do I want you to do? Let's change the background. Let's change it to black, right? So we'll just change, we'll call this view here, this same code. We have it view dot background color. Let's change it to black, right? So once we click that button, we need you to change this color to black, right? So this is just like how many lines? 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll run it now and I'll take question on these 4 lines I've written so far. So it's just listen this add method. So it's everything about method. They're about function, dot and function. So once you read them, you check the method. You can see we have a little slides. So let me increase this curve to like 10, this background, this corner region, so that you can actually see it very well. And if you want to run it, you come up here, you can see this play button. So it's running. So you can see change background. So once I click it, you can see we have our background changed to black. So you just that dot add target, right? It listens to the action on this button. Listen to the action on this button, right? So listen to the action on this button. So and we can actually make it, we can make it change and make it like change continually, right? We can make it change continually, right? So we can make it change continually. So for example, I'll just put a quick function here. Okay, quick function here. Switch none. So I'll have it here. So right. So that we just have it change periodically, so that at least our let me change it back to gray with this. I think okay, we have it in cyan here. Okay, we have it in cyan. So I'll increase this guy back. Okay, sorry. So I'll increase this guy equal to 1. So none. I'll take it back equal to 0, right? So I'll run it. So it's just a simple method so that we can keep changing, right? So if I click it, I can still click it back. I can still click it, you can see. So in each case, I change it back to either cyan or I change it back to black. It's just I just add we'll come to all those statements. You know, we are just starting with just string, right? I just starting with now I've introduced us to this button. It's called UI button. It comes from this framework, right? It comes from this UI kit framework. Swift UI. So it's a UI button. So I think we can add that to our library now. At least we touch something button now. UI button. So it's just to change it. Listen to, so like your submit button. If you are in on any app, those button they are buttons, right? Submit, log out, right? So then they have method that listen to your action. So when you tap it, there's an action, the action that listen to that. Your screen, when you scroll through, the action that listen to that. There are methods that listen to that. That you scroll up or you scroll down, you scroll left or you scroll right. There are methods that listen to that. And per what you have inside, it give you different output. If I scroll up, do this. If the user scroll down, do this. If the user scroll left, do this. If the user scroll right, do this. So there are methods that listen to each of those, right? So this is just a UI button, right? And we can implement, so far we can implement all we've done, like our string. We can bring it into action here. We can actually start implementing. So I just permutate a background color for us so that we can see how it works. So with my clicking of this, you can see how my change. So everything, both our assignment 1 and our assignment 2, will have it in an app, right? The app will just be like, take a string and tell you what the largest number, the largest character, the largest word inside. Take an array, we'll make everything in an app, right? So, and I think it will be more interactive, right? So I think I'll take question from the Swift file to the app, right? So do we have any question coming?
Hello, can you hear
Yes, I
me?
can hear you.
Yes, I
Yes.
just want to find out. This is the first time I'm joining this class, and everything you've been
Okay.
doing looks like magic to me. However, I know there are things that works properly in accordance with knowledge. It's just
Okay.
unfortunate that I'm just joining the class, and I want to find out if you have a recorded version of your classes that you can
Yeah. I
bless
think
us
I
with.
think we have that.
So,
We
I will
we do
appreciate if I
record that.
can. Yeah, I will appreciate if I can have some of these classes that you have had in the past, so that I can go through them and join you at the level you are now, because you are in a very high level now. I can see.
Wow, I
Thank
don't
you.
think we are in it. I think this is the first time we actually we our last classes have just been code, right? So we've just been coding. You can see we have this site replight.com. So you should register there. You can code in any language. So we've just been coding throughout. I think this is the first time I actually launched the app, right? Like Xcode, like we are doing app development for crying out loud. So this is the first time we actually come. I think it will be looking like magic to even for me now. It's looking like magic, right? So because we are actually we've been just with Swift. Now we are coming using the Swift to to work, right? You can see now Amos, this is an assignment. We've been using this guy, Vanom, right? You can see now it's working here. So I change it here. I change the variable here. So I didn't use let, because if I use let, it will not allow me to change it here, because let is a constant, right? You can see I will have an error, right? Cannot assign to a let, right? So that's why I use var here. So as simple as those talks that we've been having in the previous classes, those are what we've been using here. So I think the only thing that different is everything we'll be using from this kit, right? From this framework. We've not talked about it. So framework, it offers this UI button, which we've been using, that button. It offers this Swift. It offers this view, which I can do dot background. So, but this switch, right, is a Swift language. We will still be taking, I think after function, I think we should be going there, right? We talk about function, right? Talk about string, talk about array, right? I think that those are the three data structure that we've taken so far, right? So I think this is the first time we'll be going into development. And I did that with just a simple app where we can click a button to change the app, to change the background color. And I talked about position the other time. I think the positioning of app, right? So it's as simple as where do you want this guy to be located, right? I did that here, where you can do horizontal. I did that here. So it doesn't necessarily have to be in the middle, right? It doesn't necessarily have to be in the middle of your app. So I can I can make it down, so it depends on what you give it, right? So I can make it like just 10, so that it will be down, so that when we run it, when we are trying to change our background button, we click it from down. So I change it from the center, I brought it down, right? So we can just say change background color, right? Change background color. So it's just, those are just the simple what we've brought inside. So it's just, I think this is the first time we'll be going through development. So, and development is just using what you know, the language you know to build. So this is just location, change background color, change background color. So as simple as this. So this is the basics of every app. So we can navigate from here, go home, go to profile, go to settings, go to this. So it's just navigation from a page to another, right? So Amos, let me take your question. I think you must have a question from this guy to this app. Yeah.
Actually, they're supposed to be question now. I don't know how to ask them. Now,
Okay.
this switch is a Swift language method, right?
What's that? Yes,
This
Swift
switch,
is Swift.
switch,
Yes,
this switch.
it's a Swift language. Yeah, Swift.
Okay. So I guess it's just comparing the cases here, how you
Yes,
click on what will
yes.
happen.
So it switch works with, if you go to the document I gave you, I think our document, Swift document. So Swift takes some data type and it manipulates it. The example, like for example, if I want to say, if you are in if you are in month of the year, and I want to be saying hello Amos, this is January. Hello Amos, this is February. Hello Amos, this is March. How do I do that, right? So I actually can't be having print statement for all of that. Hello Amos. So how do I know this is March? So I can just switch. So switch day of the month. If it's March, print hello Amos, this is March. So switch is just like the name implies. So if you come here, I gave us this documentation. Where do I control flow? You have it in control flow. So you have switch. So if it's March, print hello March. If it's July, print hello July. If it's this, print hello this. And I think the it's very it's being it's let me find, sorry, switch statement. You can see conditional switch statement. So this is it here. So you can see it here, switch, right? It conditional if and compare it, right? It compares value, So for example, if you check your bank statement, right? It switches. If you want to display you, maybe this one is a credit alert or this is a debit alert, it switch the response. You switch the response. Is this a debit? So if it's debit, it actually just put minus. So like it will be like your bank statement will be like minus 1,000. So if it's credit, if it's is it switch this data type, is it a credit? You just pay plus. You just got this, right? So it switches case. And how I've used it here now, I just switch this number. But the number will either be 1 or 0. If it's 1, make the background blue. If it's 0, make the background black. And I keep changing the number from year to year so that we don't have a constant number. So that's just it. So if you go through, I'll copy the link again. I think I'll copy it to this slide, right? I'll copy it to this slide so that since you have this slide, you can come here and pick it anytime, right? I'll be copying the link to the slide again so that everybody will. So with this is our documentation for iOS. Let me put it in here. So these are documentation so that we'll be able to access it any day, anytime. So that's why if you've done, that's why I'm taking more time to take us through Swift. So because it's everything we need. We can't just drop into development because once we start, once we need to start using them, we can't come back and start. I'll copy the link again. We can't come back and start lecturing, right? So everybody can have access to that. So this is it. So that's it. So you can see what we've been using to array to string. String now you can do dot count. You give us number. So it's just like pre-build method. That's what this button has to. Button has layer and the layer has corner radius. So I just set the corner radius to 10, right? So that's why we have this coffee line, right? This corner radius, right? So and it is used in many apps, right? That line, right? So and it has background too, the background color. And that's why this button is white, right? So it listen at target. That's the method that it's used to listen to your action. So there are many action. There are many actions. This one is just touch up inside. So if you notice, if you click a button and you do not drop it inside, it will not work. If you check the app, if you check your apps, right? Maybe when you try, maybe you want to click something and you saw that is a mistake and you drag it outside and you drop it in another place, that action will not work because there are many actions. This one is now touch up inside. So when you touch up and you leave it on that same screen, that's when it works. But when you just click and you don't drop it back, it will not work. So there are methods that when you just click, it listens to. But this one, when you click and you release it on it, that's this meaning of this touch up inside. You have to still be on that. So if I want to click and I saw it's a mistake and I just drag up, it's no action. But when I click and drop it inside, we have it here, right? So normally I should have an iPhone, right? So if I plug my iPhone now and I build it, so instead of choosing iPhone 13 here, I'll see my iPhone here. You can see now we have no device connected. So I'll see my device here and I'll click it. So I'll be able to build from there, right? So
So another thing is there is no window application that can replicate Android iOS app like that can use to build all these iOS app.
for now, I don't think so. I don't think so. But I think there is this cloud Xcode, right, where you can have online. But I'll check on that. But now there's no Xcode is not available for any other machine apart from MacBook or Mac, right? So, but I think there is online. How you know how we have this repo site? How we have this repo site where you can actually build where you can actually build your app, right? So I think we have a cloud storage. We have a cloud storage for that. We have a cloud IO, yeah, cloud Xcode, right? Where you can build on, but it will be on cloud. It will be online. So once you have internet, you'll be able to build from there and the rest. So I think today we started development and we took a new project. We used the UI kit framework, right? Let me just clean this since we are not using it. And we started with basic language. You can see my declaration var. I think we use var and we use switch. The others are just the framework. We use UI button and every other method that come with it. Dot target, dot add target, dot change dot background color, dot corner radius. I think that's just the three guys we use today, and we are able to have that beautiful change background app, right? So, and emulator we use iPhone 13 for today, right? So, should I still have any questions? I'll take them.
No question for now.
Okay, so I believe that you should find. Okay, I think I'll just copy the solution to this number one to this side link. I don't know if I think you are making progress without your solution. If you actually look through it, and I think you know how to access the last character in a string now with that dot last, right? So I think if you do like two more lines, you should be able to arrive at the solution. You'll be able to arrive at the
Okay.
solution, right? Yeah. So I don't know, Mr. Femi. I don't know where can they find the recorded. I don't know. I know we've been recording the meeting, right?
They
I don't
always
know if it's
paste
here.
it in
Okay, like the links to the recorded version, ba?
Are you talking to me?
yes.
Yes, sir. I don't know. Kenny was asking if where to access the recorded classes.
Recorded class. Which of the classes?
Yeah, I think he missed the last two. So
And we're going to. I should upload them maybe next week. I've been very busy. Even this one is being recorded. We are recording this one as we speak. So everything will go live this coming week.
all right, thank you. So
Yeah, welcome.
Kenny, just watch out for the next class, 1 p.m. 1 p.m. Then
All right, sir.
we'll be here again. Continue. Right. So I will not be able to have a take home for us today since none of us have an Xcode or can build to Xcode. I don't know. So I'll just trust. Okay, I'll withhold my solution for this number two. Then Amos, I'll be anticipating for your solution next week. I'll just start from this number two, right? So thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much, sir.
So thank you, sir.
Are you talking to me? Class is over.